The night was supposed to humiliate her, but instead had stopped time. In a restaurant glowing with chandeliers and whispered wealth, where laughter hid behind polished glasses, a single moment cracked the air open when a powerful man dropped to one knee for a woman everyone had set up as a joke. Hearts paused, breaths caught, and the cruel plan unraveled into something no one could have imagined. Before the story unfolds, take a second. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and love finding its way through broken places, please like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive. Her name was Clara Bennett, and she had learned early how to make herself small. Not because she wanted to disappear, but because the world had taught her that standing out only invited ridicule. She worked as an assistant in a marketing firm where smiles were currency and beauty was leverage. Clara had neither the polished confidence nor the sharp-edged ambition that thrived there. She was kind, thoughtful, and quietly resilient. The kind of person who remembered birthdays and brought soup when someone was sick, yet somehow that made her invisible. When her co-workers suggested setting her up on a blind date, their voices were syrupy sweet, their eyes glittering with something else. Clara sensed the edge beneath the kindness but agreed anyway because loneliness has a way of making people brave in the wrong moments. The restaurant was impossibly elegant, the kind of place Clara had only seen through glass doors she never entered. Warm lights reflected off polished wood floors, and the hum of expensive conversations wrapped around her like a foreign language. She wore a simple pale dress she had saved for special occasions, smoothing it down with trembling hands as she waited. Around her, people laughed easily, leaning into each other, confident in belonging. Clara felt like an extra in someone else's movie, unsure where to stand. What she did not know was that this date had been arranged as a joke. Her co-workers had matched her with a man they assumed would never show, a name pulled from the top of a business magazine, someone far beyond her world. They imagined her waiting alone, embarrassed, confirming their quiet belief that people like Clara should not hope too high. They did not expect him to arrive. Ethan Rowe entered the restaurant carrying the weight of rooms. He was the kind of man whose presence shifted conversations, not because he demanded attention, but because people felt it. A self-made CEO with eyes etched by loss, he had learned to be composed for the sake of others. He was a single father, his life divided between boardrooms and bedtime stories, between billion-dollar decisions and the careful braiding of his daughter's hair. Tonight, he had come not for romance, but out of a promise to himself to stop hiding behind responsibility. He expected awkwardness, perhaps disappointment. He did not expect Clara. From the moment he saw her, something softened. Not in the way beauty stuns, but in the way sincerity disarms. Clara looked at him with a mixture of disbelief and courage, as if she had already prepared herself to be dismissed yet chose to stay open anyway. The night unfolded quietly, without spectacle. They shared food, exchanged histories without embellishment, and discovered a gentle rhythm between them. Clara spoke of small joys and quiet disappointments, of caring for a mother who had passed too early, of dreams she no longer chased because survival had taken precedence. Ethan listened the way few people ever had, fully, without checking his watch or weighing value. Around them, whispers grew. The co-workers who had arranged the date watched from a distance, confusion replacing amusement. This was not how it was supposed to go. Clara was not shrinking. She was laughing softly, eyes bright, shoulders relaxed. Ethan was not bored. He was engaged, leaning forward, as if the world beyond the table had faded. As the evening deepened, Ethan's daughter Lily joined them. A last-minute change Clara accepted with grace rather than discomfort. The child's presence transformed everything. Lily observed Clara with careful curiosity, then offered her a small rose she had been holding all night. Clara accepted it like a treasure, kneeling to Lily's level, treating her not as an interruption, but as the center of the universe. Ethan saw then what he had been missing all along, not just a partner, but a presence that felt like home. The joke collapsed under the weight of truth. Ethan stood, heart pounding not with fear but with clarity. He had built empires with less certainty than what he felt in that moment. In a room filled with people who measured love by status and spectacle, he chose simplicity. He knelt, not to perform, but to honor what had found him when he least expected it. The proposal was not loud, not rehearsed, but it froze the room because it was real. Clara's world tilted. She had come prepared to endure humiliation, not transcend it. Tears blurred the chandeliers into stars as she realized this was not pity, not rescue, but recognition. She said yes with a nod that carried every silent prayer she had ever whispered. Applause erupted late, unsure at first, then overwhelming, as if the room itself needed permission to believe in what it had witnessed. The days that followed were not fairy tale easy. Scrutiny came fast. People questioned motives, whispered about gold digging and desperation. Clara faced old fears resurfacing, the doubt that she did not belong in Ethan's world. But Ethan stood steady, publicly and privately, choosing her again and again. He introduced her not as an accessory, but as a partner, valuing her empathy in rooms that had long forgotten it. Lily clung to Clara's hand, weaving her into the fabric of their lives with a child's unfiltered acceptance. Clara learned that love did not erase insecurity, but it gave it less power. She learned to speak up, to take space, to believe that kindness was not weakness. Ethan learned that strength did not mean solitude, that allowing himself joy did not betray responsibility. Together, they rewrote the narrative others had tried to impose on them. The co-workers who had set the joke watched from afar as Clara transformed, not into someone else, but into herself without apology. Some felt shame, others envy, but the laughter was gone. In its place was a quiet lesson about underestimating the human heart. Years later, the story would still be told, not as gossip, but as a reminder. A reminder that love does not ask permission from status, that dignity can rise from the most careless cruelty, and that sometimes the moment meant to break you becomes the one that builds you. If this story has touched your heart, if it made you believe again in unexpected grace, please take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement helps these stories reach the people who need them most. And before we end, leave a comment below telling us what this story meant to you, because your words might be the encouragement someone else is searching for. In a world that often mistakes kindness for weakness, Clara's story stands as proof that the bravest thing you can do is show up as yourself. Love, when it is real, does not laugh. It kneels, it chooses, and it stays.